You're applying to a whole bunch of jobs, but you're not getting any response. No one's calling you in for an interview. What's going on? In this video, we're going to talk about some of the factors that you can control and some of the factors that you can't. But either way, we're going to fix this problem in this video. Coming right up. What's going on, everyone? It's Yasser. I work as a recruiter, so going through a lot of resumes is a part of my daily job. If you want to see more videos about resumes, resume tutorials, and how to land your dream job, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you've applied for jobs and you're struggling with it, not knowing why you're not getting a call, we're going to divide this video into two parts. Number one, the things you can't control, and number two, the things that you can control and fix to up your chances of getting called in for an interview. Now first, you have to understand the process through which candidates are selected for a position. There's going to be a job posting oftentimes. People apply there. The hiring managers wait enough time for enough people to apply, and once they start applying, someone is going to go through all of those resumes, or usually pick a few keywords and then narrow all those resumes down, have a look at them, shortlist the ones that are suitable, give them a call, see if everything falls in line over the phone call, over the phone interview. If it seems like they're good candidates, they'll call them in for an in-person interview. After that, there might be another interview or 3 interviews, however many the employer wants, and then they'll make their final pick. So if you're applying to a lot of places and you're not even getting that first initial call outside the automated response, that means there's something wrong right at the very start. Now, for the things that you can control, the first thing is just timing. Maybe you applied for the job when they already had a big enough pool of candidates. Maybe you applied about a month and a half after the posting went up. They've already seen all the good candidates. They've already chosen the ones that they wanted to phone screen and then call them on for an interview. So by the time you're applying, they're already having their second interview with some other candidate. That doesn't mean that your resume isn't good or your application isn't good itself, but just the fact that your timing was off, you didn't get called for the interview. That's going to happen. You're going to apply at different times for different jobs. Unfortunately, that is the reality of it. Not much you can do about it, but if there's a specific job you want, keep an eye out for any postings and apply as soon as it goes out. Sometimes what also happens is the hiring managers actually change what they want. Maybe they thought they were looking for X person, but after seeing all the resumes coming, they decided, you know what, we actually need Y person. So they might completely put the job on hold and another job posting might come up that they might want instead. So that's not really your fault. You can't really do much about it. Another thing they usually do is if they found someone from within the company, someone who's worked with them for a while, who wants to transfer into that position, they might just hire internally as well. Again, there's not a whole lot you can do about it, but just some things to consider. Now let's talk about some of the things that you can control that will contribute to you being called in for a phone interview. If you're not even getting a phone call, there might be a chance that there's something not right with your resume. I've got multiple videos on resumes. Check those out above. Chances are you might be making one of these mistakes that's costing you an important job. Your resume might be too short, might be too long. You might have the same resume for every single job, and it's very easy to tell when you're doing that. It might not be specific to the job you're applying for. Maybe your resume's layout just doesn't look appealing or it looks unprofessional. You might have some inappropriate or irrelevant information on there. You might even be applying from a different city, and oftentimes employers will prefer someone who's local. Your resume might have a lot of generic terms on it like team worker, really hard worker, I don't have any experience but I can make magic with my hands, or anything like that. Or maybe they just look at your resume and they decide, you know what, there are a lot better candidates in our pool, and they just skip to the next one. Especially very early on, if you're not getting contacted, always consider the fact that your resume might not be good enough. Always get a double check, get some experts to look at it, get some career consultants to look at it. Make sure your resume looks as good as it can possibly look. I know so many students who reach out to me saying, Yasser, I have applied to all these jobs, my resume looks amazing, what's going on? And they send me their resume and it looks like something that came out of a kindergarten class. I'm not joking with you. These are people who graduated a business degree or a master's degree, and their resume still looks very elementary, and that includes myself as well. So never assume your resume is good enough unless an expert has told you so. Another very basic mistake I've seen a lot of people make when applying is not applying with the right format on their resume. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes when you're applying, they'll ask post in a Word file or post in a PDF file. And depending on the kind of word processing software they're using, your resume might appear differently. So for example, if you're making a resume on Microsoft Word and you open it with, say, Google Sheets or whatever it's called, it might look different on their end. So always pertain to their format and apply in their format, because sometimes what happens is when you're applying on their application system, when they see your resume, the words might be all jumbled up, and that's really going to affect how they see your resume, how they perceive you, right? I'm not going to lie, I have actually seen applications where the resume is blank. I mean like blank, white paper, nothing on there. If you're going to apply like that, obviously you're not going to get a job. And speaking of resumes, you want to make sure you're spelling everything out for the recruiter. When they're reading your resume, they shouldn't have any questions. For example, if you've worked till 2017 and after 2017 there's nothing on your resume, the recruiter is going to think, what has this person been doing for like 2.5, 3 years? And instead of calling you up to clarify that, they're just going to move on to the next one, because it's just a lot easier. They've got a lot of people to choose from. They're not going to specifically call you and ask you that. So make sure everything is as streamlined, as basic, as open as possible on your resume, so even a 5th grader can just read the resume and know exactly what you did. Okay, maybe not a 5th grader, but you know what I mean. Another reason you're not getting a call is that you might have been knocked out because of the knockout questions they have in an application. So for example, if you're on a website and you put your resume in there, you put your cover letter in there, they might have 2 or 3 questions on the bottom. For example, are you 18 and above, or do you have at least 3 years of experience? Are you legally entitled to work in this country? And if any one of those questions you write no for, or you select no for, it's automatically going to reject your application, because those are the absolute basic requirements they're looking for in that position. And if you don't fulfill them, they're not even going to consider their application. So if you're not passing those initial knockout questions, your application isn't even going through. And lastly, you know what? It is modern times. There are other ways of getting to the top of that resume pile, having a preference, and that is having a referral inside. So if someone else reached out to one of your hiring managers, maybe developed some sort of connection with them, met them out for a coffee, you can't really tell all of that from a job posting, right? Who's doing what? How are they applying? How are they making connections? That might actually result in them getting an interview or them getting a personal connection. So always try to make a personal connection. Don't spam people saying, hey, I'm looking for a job or whatever. Try to make meaningful choices of who you contact on LinkedIn and other places as well, so you have contacts in place before a job posting even comes up. So a lot of people do this. When a job posting comes up, they'll reach out to people in that team. I would advise have some seeds in that company prior. So what I mean by this is you've already done research on that organization. You've already talked to a few people. They know you. So by the time a job posting comes up, then you can reach out to them saying, hey, remember a couple of months ago I came to you and I told you about, I love your company, I love the industry, and I was talking to you about what do you do. And now a posting has come up. I was wondering if you can refer me, or if I was wondering if you think I'd be a good fit for it. And now you have a personal connection. As opposed to if a job posting comes up and then you reach out to all these people, it might seem like you're just trying to get a shortcut through the application process. It depends on who you reach out to, but a lot of times recruiters have a lot of people reaching out to them for specific jobs, just so you know. I will be coming out with a full resume course sometime very soon. I'm looking for your help. In the comments, post down below what are some things you want to know about your resume, what are some things that you want to know about a job searching process that I can include on that course. I want to make it very, very helpful and intensive for you so that you can invest your time in and you can get a job out of it as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.